Welcome to Remix EQ Live, amplifying equity with a mix of information, interviews, and inspiration. I'm your host, Dr. Erika Tate, and today I'm live from Savannah, Georgia, where I live. So, for those joining us today, please drop a greeting of choice in the comments. Let us know where you are joining us from and the equity work that you do or aspire to do. And remember, Remix EQ Live is an experience, and today it's a rally that's meant for you to share. I encourage you to hit the share button and invite your people, your network, your family, your friends, your peeps to join us today. And while those comments are flowing in and those invitations are flowing out, I want to remind you that Remix EQ Live offers us the opportunity to connect and build community around the equity work that's being performed throughout the world. And we do this by centering the work. That is, our guests and our viewers share examples of what they do in their role or position as a way to illustrate how they advance equity in the spaces in which they work, live, or play. So, throughout the show and in the comments, I invite you to share what you do to make the world a more just place. Today, we kick off season 2 of Remix EQ Live, and we are doing so with a rally. If you don't know by now, I am a festive soul who loves gatherings. So here we go. And I want to begin the show by grounding us in what it means to rally. So we'll start with a definition so that we can begin from a place of shared meaning. And then I hope to elaborate a bit more so we can walk away from this episode embodying the spirit and energy of a rally to inspire our collective work to bring about justice in communities that have been neglected and mistreated so that we can continue to redress or correct policies grounded in hate that have led to systems of inequity that are related to health and education and economics. Many of us work in these areas to close the gap in terms of access to resources or to repair relationships so that we can create safe spaces where we can dialogue or simply be. This show is about us and how we represent. We are diversifying spaces with our bodies and our minds, which are connected in terms of the perspectives and experiences we bring to conversations and decisions that affect people's lives and many times affect their lives for generations. We also diversify the space in the different ways that we bring about change. And this show, Remix EQ Live, is a platform that showcases this diverse work and the people who make this world a more just place. So it's a rally! So let's get to it. The word rally happens to be a noun and a verb. And so I love to start very concrete when making meaning and think of examples of the word that I'm trying to define. So I wonder for you, what pops into your head when you think of a rally as a noun? So me, I think pep rally. And you guys know that you have not seen the last of these pom poms this season. But pep rallies are these spirited events. For instance, in school, students and teachers and leaders come together to build positive energy around an event, usually a game or competition. But in recent years, we've also seen students and staff rally around year end testing or even to create safe spaces for students. Pep rallies have chants and bands and dancers and speakers who impart words of inspiration. It's a celebration that imbues the community with hope for positive outcomes. All of us here are working toward positive outcomes, equitable outcomes. That is, every person, every family, every community has what they need in order to live their very best lives. And we often talk about this in terms of access and resources related to education. So when we talk about equitable instruction or culturally responsive learning. In areas of health, we may talk about food justice or food apartheid, or maternal health and ensuring that Black women and people not only survive, but thrive during pregnancy, birth, and beyond. We may talk about economics or economic empowerment and think and do work that increases transportation options so that people who live in low wealth, low income communities can commute to higher wage jobs outside their neighborhood. These are just a few examples. So please, please, please share some examples of the work you do and in the spaces in which you perform this equity work in the comments. But it's not just that we talk about it, we also walk the talk. We take action. We make change by bringing to the forefront policies steeped in racism that beget more racist, exclusionary, and unfair rules and practices that give rise to inequities. We research and collect data to gather evidence about the gaps in resources or to generate evidence about the success of policies and programming that bridge these gaps. Many of us have designed and implemented programs that respond to the lived experiences of individuals, families, and communities that have been neglected, mistreated, or ignored. For some of us, this is our work, our profession. For others, this is where and how we volunteer. And for many of us, this is our calling. However, we come to this work, we do it with the expectation for positive, equitable outcomes. So, now the second example that pops into my head when I think rally is monster truck rallies. Yes, monster truck rallies. My 2-year-old son Elijah loves monster trucks. He watches them on TV. He wants all the things that have monster trucks on them. So, like, example, my daughter Catherine will say, I want a toothbrush with a princess on it. And Elijah will say, I want a toothbrush with a monster truck. And Catherine will say, I want to watch Rainbow Rangers. And Elijah will say, I want to watch monster trucks. And I'll say, hey, y'all need to agree on something or no one watches TV. And Catherine, who knows and appreciates her brother's love of monster trucks, will say, well, we'll watch monster trucks. So I consider myself to be a mama who really wants to lean into my kids' interests and support their passions. But in the back of my mind, I think, will his passion for monster trucks last forever? And if so, will I have to attend a monster truck rally? But at the end of the day, a monster truck rally is an event where people who share an interest in monster trucks come together to celebrate. They may be enamored by the size of these vehicles with those big old wheels, as we say in our house, or wonder how monster trucks surmount obstacle after obstacle that are stacks and stacks of cars. They may simply love the live, action packed, down and dirty excitement of it all. I don't really know because I don't love monster trucks. That's my son. But what I do know is that we are here today because we share an interest in equity. Some of you may be like me. You love all that's equity and how it intersects with every aspect of life. And you just want to know all about it so much, you make a show about it. Some of you may have a specific passion, like I'm stoked about digital inclusion. I can't wait until everyone in the whole wide world has access to the World Wide Web because they have access to broadband in their neighborhoods and schools. Again, just an example, but I am definitely interested in what equity related topics you are stoked about. And there are some of you who get down and dirty every day to change lives and create positive, equitable outcomes. And you want to connect with people who do the same. Well, you're in the right place, my change makers, because Remix EQ Live is a rally. It is a platform that brings together people who have an interest in one or all things equity and who expect to achieve positive, equitable outcomes that make the world a more just place. So now we know what a rally is. So let's talk about what it means to rally. And what better way to celebrate the second season of Remix EQ Live than with the gift of acronym? So I chose an acronym because, well, they're fun to create, but also I know that the pursuit of equity is multifaceted and hard to distill down into one definition. An acronym offers multiple letters, aka multiple opportunities to describe the nuances of this important pursuit. So let's break it down, y'all. To rally is to recognize the structures, physical and political, that have barricaded us from achieving equitable outcomes, but also to recognize those of us who are working day in and day out to dismantle systems, close gaps, and void spaces defined by inequity and injustice. To rally is to appreciate the diversity in perspectives and approaches and tools that are utilized to bring about this desired change, positive, equitable outcomes. And to appreciate why those in our community have chosen this lives changing work. We know that hope doesn't always come from a place of sunshine and rainbows. For many, it's born out of a place of trauma and mistreatment. It's resilience, it's courage that brings us to this work and inspires us to change the course. To rally is to learn from each other, knowledge, frameworks, strategies for change, but also to learn about each other and the expertise and experiences we bring to this fight for a more just world. To rally is to love one another. Let's face it, it's very difficult to work with and for people with whom you can't show love. This work, our cause, our purpose emanates from the heart. We must love others and we must love ourselves. Which brings me to the final letter, Y. To rally is to take care of you. Our work to make positive change, to bring about equitable outcomes is challenging, sometimes traumatic, and it can wear a person down. We must create space to take care of our bodies, our minds, our souls. And self care can take many forms, and I leave that for you to determine. For our Remix EQ Live community, one way to take care of yourself is to connect with others in this space that recognizes the root of inequity and showcases the people and the work in pursuit of equitable outcomes. This space, our space, appreciates how diverse this work is and why it's a chosen pathway. We learn from each other, about each other, and we do it because we love what we do and we love each other. Here, we take care of you. So, let's recap. Rally is a noun, and Remix EQ Live is a rally. It is a platform that brings together people interested in and in pursuit of equitable outcomes. And rally is a verb. And for the Remix EQ Live community, it is a call to action, to recognize, appreciate, learn, love, and take care of you as you work to make the world a more just place. So, welcome to season 2 of Remix EQ Live. Let's rally! Woo, we have people in the comments. Oh, Regine Montesami says yes. Oh my goodness, I can't even see the comments. But hey, Regine. Hey, Brianna. Hello, rally. I'm excited. Yes, yes. If you said hello, bring it in, bring it in. This is exciting. So I am so glad that you guys are here today for our rally and our kickoff for season 2. I will be back on the second Friday in August to begin our interview shows. And we're talking about so many things this season. We'll be talking about Black women in computing and STEM. We'll have Dr. Kyla McMullen joining us. We're going to talk about DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace or any space, with Rahime Ramezani. And we're also going global with Vivian Aqua. We have another show on philanthropy with Josh Edelman. And we got data scientists in the house. One of which is Dr. Brandeis Marshall. So this excitement is just happening. We're going to talk about digital media and learning. We'll have Jean-Claude Brizard. And then Iodeli Harrison and Dr. Chris Small will be discussing Black male leadership in education. We have it all, y'all. So rally around season 2 of Remix EQ Live. Watch your feed, check your inbox, so that you have the details to tune in to our next show. And until then, visit the Remix EQ Live webpage for past episodes and more information about our inspiring guests and upcoming shows. And you can also binge watch season 1 to learn how we rally around equity. And while you're there, please feel free to poke around the website and learn more about my business, Blue Knowledge, which advances equity in schools and communities. You can also follow us on LinkedIn. And of course, I invite you to connect with me here in this space. All right. So thank you guys. Oh, we have another comment. Well, thank you. Yes, I know it's very exciting to be in season 2 and have you guys part of this community. Woohoo! I enjoy anything that allows for me to enact or perform the comment just for future notice, y'all. Well, thank you, Remix EQ Live community, for your engagement, your comments, your encouragement, which will keep us inspired to make the world a more just place. I'm your host, Dr. Erika Tate, and this is Remix EQ Live. I'll see you next time.